When it comes to real estate, everything matters. Whether you're a realtor, homeowner, buyer, or seller, Real Estate Matters with Stewart Title is here to inform, entertain, and inspire you. Host Bill Napick from Stewart Title will talk with guests about what really matters when it comes to owning, buying, and selling real estate. Real Estate Matters with Stewart Title starts right now. Here's your host, Bill Napick.
Welcome to the show, Real Estate Matters with Stewart Title. I am your host, and once again, we embark on a super radio adventure. We're going to talk about all sorts of things real estate today. We'll talk about money, new home construction, real estate in the Katy, Sugar Land area, and even more. So thank you for joining us. Whether you're listening right here in Houston, Texas, you could be in Sugar Land, Katy, Texas, you can be in Denver, Colorado. Wherever you are, super guests have been assembled right now. They're here, they're ready, they're smiling. It's going to be awesome. Real Estate Matters with Stewart Title begins right now. Our first guest is Paul McHugh Homes. Here he is. He's the president. Paul, welcome to the show.
So we build new constructions generally in the 800 starting range to about, right below 2 million, generally mostly, well, actually all in town. There's some discussions out of town, but that's usually for the production builders who have the developments out there. But generally memorial villages, heights, West U, stuff like that.
And if you would say right now, the market, here we are at the end of the year, last quarter coming up, how has the market been this year, and how do you think things are going to wind up for you as we end up 2019?
I think the market's pretty good for in town. I think there's a cap rate going on over 2 million. I think that's not my market, but those homes, they're sitting longer and longer. I see some issues with that, but I think to me the hot number right now is a 1.2. And I know that it sounds insane to say 1.2 is a great price, but new construction in town 1.2 is a good price.
$1.2 million.
$1.2 million.
So Paul, maybe a couple more radio shows, I'll be able to afford one of those $1.2 million properties.
Yeah, come on, Bob.
Perhaps.
We'll get you a discount.
Indeed, the radio show host discount. I'm looking forward to that. Let's tell people, as far as new homes, I think a lot of things trigger a move, a real estate transaction. But one of the things, sometimes people get tired of living in an older home, like my home is 1992, I think it was built, and the idea of just new construction, brand new ACs, current trends and things like that, that's very attractive to people. So let's tell people some of the trends that are happening right now. When you build a new home today or in the last year versus 5 years ago, what are the things that people find in your new homes right now?
I think probably the biggest trend for me personally is the special design issues. We do a lot of unique things, whether it's design work, mainly carpet. All our cabinetry is built on site, so I don't like there's nothing wrong with prefab cabinets. There's plenty. But generally, I think when you're in the plus million inside Houston, everyone's doing custom cabinetry. And then that means also doing custom millwork. You're getting a well-priced, the guy charges you a lot of money for millwork, but you're getting unique designs, whether it's a chevron pattern on the ceiling, whether it's unique designs everywhere. You're doing more uniqueness.
That sounds great. And, of course, in that price range, people have high expectations. So the craftsmanship is probably several levels above, a $300,000 home, you think?
There's differences, but I think, in the end, a house is a house generally. We all generally use some of the same trades. It's the amount of money you're spending on certain aspects, flooring, tile, how big, AC units, all that stuff is the differences where.
And as far as swimming pools, in the homes that you build now, how often are people saying, hey, I want a swimming pool?
And for my price range, almost every home.
Every home.
And then the issue runs because it's a trick between a builder, right? We try to build to the building lines. That means we only give them 5 feet. And digging in a pool is very difficult with 5 feet. And so there's this, people like the ability to build a pool, but then it's also cost prohibitive because they're going to have to hand dig some of that stuff and then do all that stuff. But almost every builder I know, they always say they want a pool. Now, I'm not here to wait for them to do the pool, but they say they're going to do a pool, and it's a common, thing they're looking for.
I think pools certainly are nice here in Houston. It gets so hot. Not only are they fun to swim in and cool off in, but it's a great vantage. It creates a nice view depending how you have the windows situated and things like that. So it really makes the home an oasis in many cases.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing we fought in town is, our lots aren't big relatively. If you think about production homes, the lots are actually quite larger, 10, 12, 13. It's very common in the suburbs. In town, you have an 8 to 10, that's considered a decent lot. every lot in Spring Valley is generally about 10,000 square feet, but these builders are building bigger and bigger homes, and therefore the yards get smaller and smaller and smaller. So it becomes this fight, square footages versus pools and backyard. But most builders I know try to at least plan for a pool, but it most likely be left with no extra yard.
What are some of the other things as far as energy efficiency? If someone buys one of your homes right now, I would think that you have all the things that are going to make it energy efficient, from a attic ventilation to everything else. Give us an idea what we find.
Yeah, I mean, I would say
now.
for in-town, for me, I mean, we do tankless. Water here is always.
I love the tankless.
1 or 2, depending on the square footages. Generally, we'll do 16 SEER 2-stage. I think there's a conversation whether we're going to go up to 18 SEER in the next couple years because of heat and et cetera stuff. You know, foam insulation is extremely popular. It does add cost. And if you do foam insulation in a house in your attic, you have to have emissions nothing in your attic. So your furnace must be a different furnace. Your water heater, if you're doing a normal, must be tankless, because there's going to be things going to be closed off. And so if any emissions come out, they're going to go down into
the home,
which is pretty.
See, just right there, all the things that a builder has to know about, all the components. I mean, I don't know how you do it, because not only to mention building permits and all the things you have to do for the home and that sort of thing, but just to put a home together with the ventilation. And give us a quick word on the SEERs. I mean, of the air conditioner. Many people know what that is. I was told what it is, but I have forgotten. So give us a primer on the energy efficient things to think about when you have building the AC system in the home.
Yeah, I mean, ACs, there's a multitude of things that go into AC. I would say that, you know, for me, I always tell people, ask me if I was a choice, if I had to choose between a 14 SEER 2-stage and a 16 SEER 1-stage, which is a stronger AC, it's more energy efficient, I would choose the 2-stage 14 SEER, because I think the humidity level, the easiest way people explain the AC is a 1-stage AC is like, get in your car right now, you turn it to 70 degrees, whether you have the windows down, whether it's 100 outside, it's going to blow the same temperature. A 2-stage regulates the temperature and accommodates for what's going on in the actual house, opposed to just setting the temperature to 1 degree. It's much more, it'll help. Nest thermostats, we usually do standard. That's so important as well. You know, regulating your AC is important.
And when you say 2-stage, that means it's 2 speeds? Or that's a whole other part, the variable speed? That's a whole other deal.
Essentially, it's 2 stages, essentially reducing your humidities, and it's determining the humidity in the house and reducing that number. Because generally, humidity, the acceptable level in Houston is 50 to 60%.
Well, when we think about air conditioning in this city, it is indeed life support. We need it. You have to have it. I don't know what people did years ago. I mean, 100 years ago when they developed Houston or whenever it was, but I'm glad we have AC and all the other modern conveniences. What are some of the other things that you want people to know about your company and the homes that you're building? It must be fun to start out, and then when the home is finished, ready for the marketplace, it must be very exciring for you to say, hey, wow, here it is.
I mean, I love it. It's super creative. I would tell you the best. I happened to do 2 Harvey people who their house is flooded, and we just finished their house. It took us about 9-10 months to do their house from construction, but they decided to build and all that. And I came by. We did a closing basket and a bow on their house. And the wife there, she actually grew up in the house, and then her father gave her the house when they got married. And it was super emotional for her. Like, she was like, it was an amazing experience, because this is the place she grew up in, and to see this transform from one home to another home, it's an emotional. I mean, homes are everything for people, and so for me, it's nice. I would hope that every client who I sell a house to is nice and emotional about some.
Well, it's a work of art when you think about it.
Yes.
So many, I mean, just from the cabinetry to the finished product, it has to be awesome. What do you do to keep up with the various trends of the homes?
For me, I generally don't,
because things change, I guess.
I mean, I generally look at a lot of stuff in LA and Seattle and Phoenix. To me, that's what I look. I constantly look at Zillow and look at the homes that are being built there, because I think, especially California, they're probably more closer to what's the trends, especially tile-wise. I mean, remember there's these 4 women called Tile Bar. They're in New York, and they created these unique tiles. And these tiles that they did 5-6 years ago, now I see in Florida Core. But this diamond pattern with a little diamond in it. So you see that you gotta explore other places just besides just Houston, or you're just gonna build the same thing that everybody else builds.
And as far as colors go in the home, what is, I want to think, is it all gray?
It's all gray.
Still gray.
It's still gray.
That gray's really, and gray is beautiful. It has a calming
There's multiple
effect.
versions of gray.
But it seems like that's hanging around for many years, huh?
Gray has not left. Yeah, I mean, I don't know if we need to go back to the green cabinets.
What did it used to be? I forget. Tan?
It was that off-white, tan, and sort of brownish-ish.
You got to go gray, man, just like my hair. In the meantime, Paul, let's tell people anything else before we close the segment, and let's tell them how they can reach out to you.
McHugh Homes, you can go to mchughhomes.com. It's MCHUGH homes.com. And my name's Paul. I'm available whenever you want.
He is Paul McHugh. Thank you, Paul, for being on the show. We're going to come right back with
Appreciate
even
it.
more. Stay with us, please. Stewart Insurance is proud to sponsor Real Estate Matters. As a Stewart company, we focus on uniting real estate and insurance. Our goal is for all clients to be properly insured. When you are properly insured, you're confident in the insurance decisions you make. Whether it's professional liability or homeowners insurance, everyone deserves to be confident. We invite you to join the properly insured Stewart Insurance. Connect with us at stewartinsurance.com or call 866-798-2827. That's 866-798-2827. Stewart Insurance, stewartinsurance.com.
And welcome back to Real Estate Matters with your host, Bill Napick. This is Chris Kelso tuning in and just helping him for a brief moment. It's amazing. We actually have CR Realty in the house. We have Chad Ray. Chad, how you doing? And you have a great crew that you brought with you today.
Yes, I brought two of my top producers, Jennifer Chacon and Christy Stone.
How are you ladies doing?
We're great. Doing good.
Doing good?
Yeah.
You know, the great thing is I am sitting here with you today. Bill Napick, phenomenal radio host. Real Estate Matters is one of the premier shows in real estate. And y'all are now on the premier show of real estate, so I love it.
Excited to be here.
Excited, right? So let me know a little bit about who you are and what you do. We always like to hear the stories of what got you guys involved in real estate. Either one of y'all can start.
All right. I'm Christy Stone, and I got into real estate, started out in investment kind of stage, and then wanted to get into helping everyone else. So got my real estate license and been doing it for the last 2 years.
2 years, that's awesome.
Yeah.
And you know, in real estate, the great thing is it touches everybody. It's a phenomenal place to get started. And how's the past 2 years been for you so far?
Great.
Mainly
would
focused
say
in Katy or
business
all over the
is
place?
All over, really. I just did a closing out in Cedar Park last weekend.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
That is great. And Jennifer, how about you? How'd you get started?
So I've been in real estate for 4 years now. I previously did practice management for 12 years, and I wanted a little more flexible schedule. I love the real estate environment. So the first 2 years I was with Century 21, and then I primarily focused my business in Fort Bend County, Katy, Richmond, Sugar Land. And I came across Chad as a broker, and when he opened his office, I moved over to CR Realty. It's a boutique brokerage. I'm able to concentrate more on my clients and the Fort Bend County area.
That is awesome. Well, I can tell you this. I see your office every Sunday when I go to church. So I live out in Katy, and I go by it all the time, and I actually go to St. Bart's out there in Katy area. So I pass by it all the time, and Chad and I speak a lot actually on Facebook and stuff. But this is actually the first time we've actually been in the room together. So Chad, how did you get involved?
I tell you, I graduated University of Houston in 2001 with a finance degree. Didn't know what I was going to do next. My dad's good buddy was Richard Phillip, who was running Remax back in the day. Met with Richard, introduced me to guys that own Remax Town and Country, decided to get a real estate license. This was 17 years ago. Did Remax for a couple years. I'm very entrepreneur spirit. Got a broker license after 2 years in the industry. Opened my own CR Realty in 2004.
Wow.
So I've been doing my own thing for 15 years now this year.
And Chris, what I find interesting, I'm not a genius, but CR Realty, that must mean Chad Ray, huh? Listen, I'm just putting the pieces together over here. That's incredible. I want to, Christy, give us an idea. It's always interesting. 2 years is not that long.
No.
But you entered the market in a wonderful time where I think all the things must have been lining up certainly your natural abilities must lend themselves to real estate, but give people an idea, because a lot of people start out in real estate, and when they start, they don't get a good start. Tell us what you did to ensure that you are doing so well at this point.
Honestly, it was being in the office a lot. Chad was really well with teaching and, showing the ropes with the forms and just kind of giving his knowledge on what he does with all of his clients, and what's the best way to go, take it from start to finish. And the biggest thing I would say is customer service, and always staying on top of, from start to finish, really. It speaks for itself, always being there for your clients. And he's a great person to learn from. I mean, he's been doing this for a long time, and
like
he's
you said, about 18
readily
years, yeah.
available. I mean, phone, text, in the office. You can always see him in the office.
There you go.
So.
What a great inspiration. 2 years doing very well.
Mm-hmm.
And as you look ahead, what do you see as far as 2000? What are the feelings that you're getting for the next year, as we still have a lot to go this year, but what are you thinking about next year?
A lot of growth, especially going out west. Sealy is becoming really hot, and it keeps moving. Katy will always be a great market, as well as Sugar Land, but yeah, there's a lot of growth. It has not slowed down by any means. Now that the school has started, it's not slowing down.
Indeed. And Jennifer, give us an idea from your perspective. You're in real estate a little bit longer, so what are the things that you do to continue to be successful year after year?
I think staying in touch with all your clients. You always want to stay front of face with them, following up, popping by. I think as long as you stay consistent with your follow-up, your clients continue to refer you.
Yeah.
You're making it sound
Agree.
simple, Jennifer. That is great. And people all over, especially young realtors, new realtors, are taking notes furiously right now. Chad, as far as Katy, what's going on in the Katy area for people that are living in Katy right now, and or those that are thinking about moving there? And I know there's a lot of people that are. Give us an idea of some of the things that are going on, some drivers in the marketplace.
There is a ton of growth in Katy ever since the opening of 99 North between I-10 and 290 all the way to 45 has completely changed the northwest quadrant, I like to call it, of the Katy area. I've read they're going to be building up to 12,000 homes in that area over the next 5 years. And it is, like Christy said, it's heading west. We have listings all the way out past the Brazos and I-10 into Brazos Country and off into Sealy. It seems like Katy just continues to move west. But an article last month, for example, Katy had over 600 closings for the month versus Sugar Land only had about 150. So Katy's basically selling 4 times more homes than the Sugar Land area.
That is very interesting. What are the things that, and it's funny, I live almost in Katy. I'm as far west, I'm right by Fry Road, but I'm still Houston. However, before I moved out to the suburbs, which was a big deal for me, I looked at both of those markets, Sugar Land and Katy, and ended up in Katy area. But what are the things that are there a lot of people that think about those two suburbs and then finally decide on one? And what's the tipping point? Anybody?
My opinion, Katy used to be a lot of bang for your buck. Sugar Land got more expensive than Katy. Sugar Land filled up faster than Katy. There's a lot of new construction available in Katy. Sugar Land doesn't have much new construction available anymore. I can tell you Katy prices are creeping up, though. The bang for your buck is getting a little less than it was 3-4 years ago. I get a lot of calls from people coming to town, want to see Katy, or from out of the area. I take them on the tour of Katy, and people like the schools. Most of the schools are good in Katy. And you still get a good bang for your buck, in my opinion, compared to Sugar Land, for example.
Well, and I would agree. This is Chris again. One of the things, we have the Katy High School. So you can't ever beat that in football. But more importantly is Katy's had a lot of development as well. So now you've got La Centera, you have the new boardwalk that's going in. You've always had the Katy Mills Mall. One of the things that I think Katy is really driving it at this point, and you all can talk about this, is it's actually its own area now. It used to be you lived in Katy and had to go into City Center or to go to Sugar Land. Now you never have to leave Katy to get anything you want. and it's just a completely different world out there now.
Correct. The only thing we're missing in Katy still is Papados and Papacitos.
Hey, he's right about that because I had to go just this last Sunday. I went to Papa Do's over there by City Center, and I was thinking, why do I have to drive this far? There should be
Hopefully
the Papa
there's
Do's.
somebody's listening and they'll come out soon.
So, and that's the thing. When we think it does, I don't know where you all live. Do you all live in the Katy area?
Old Katy. Mm-hmm.
So Old Katy. Chad, you're out there
I'm
in
close
Katy.
to Old Katy as well.
Jennifer?
I'm in Richmond,
Richmond.
Longmeadow Farms, which the Richmond area right there off of 99 has had quite a bit of development also. When I originally moved out there in 2007, we used to have to go into Katy to go to the grocery store. That's no longer the case. You know, we have Kroger, we have H-E-B now. There's a lot of development going on right there off of 99.
And you've got the new Target, the new At Home.
Yeah,
We do.
You know, you had for a
do.
little while the very best movie theater known to man.
Yes,
Until
yes.
they sold it. It was actually the
Used
Palladium.
to be the Palladium.
It used to be the Palladium. Now it's called Regal, I think it
Yes.
is what they changed
Yeah.
it to. But let's talk a bit about that because that little corridor right there, I used to live out in Richmond. I lived in Lake Sabella Terra.
Okay.
And you mentioned, you know, now you've got Harvest Green. You've got a lot of new development going
Yes.
all up and down the north end and west side, mainly on the west side, though, that's going on over in Richmond. And that is an untapped market. Everyone looks at Katy, but I think people need to start looking more at what's going on in Richmond. Aliana's out there. I mean, it's pretty amazing. Talk about some
Yes.
of that.
So we have Aliana, we have Harvest Green. Some of the newer restaurants we also have Cane's. There's a Texas Roadhouse being built. There is At Home. So there's a lot of development going on off of 99. But there's a lot of talk of moving west, going towards Sealy. Well, right there also, as you head west, Fulshire. Fulshire has been booming lately. There's some newer developments going on in Fulshire, and of course, there's Fullbrook that's been out there. There's Weston Lakes that's been out there. But there's a newer community also that's being built out there that has a little bit lower price point, starting price point for homes. So if people are looking for entry-level homes in that area, there is that market in Fulshire as well. There's a new Fulshire High School that's out there. There is Fulshire Middle School out there as well.
And as you talk about heading west, when and where will it stop? Because it is continually, Chad, it is continually creeping out west, further out, Fulshire, and beyond. It's incredible. And both north and south of I-10.
They're widening I-10 now all the way out to Sealy. It's a traffic jam. It's going to be for the next few years.
I was in that traffic jam.
Oh yeah,
yes.
no fun on Sundays. It's no fun, but it's going crazy out there all the way to Sealy. Katy is almost attached to Brookshire these days. It seems like, and then you travel a little further. You look up. You're in Sealy. I grew up in the Katy area, and Sealy was really in the middle of nowhere.
That's incredible.
15 years ago, and it's going to continue to head that way, in my opinion.
So in some ways, going back to the idea of Sugarland, Katy, it sounds like Katy is there's something about Katy that has maybe a bit of an edge on the growth. Would you say that?
Yes.
The schools for sure.
The schools for sure is a huge deal for Katy. And I just think there's so much new construction available in that area that if people want a new house, they're still fairly affordable, and there's just a ton of it available.
Very interesting. And Jennifer, before we close this segment out, let's tell people how they can reach you, and maybe you have another thought.
You can reach me at 832-368-3387. I'm available 24 hours. You're welcome to text me or email me at jc@crrealtyco.com.
832-368-3387. And Christy,
Yes.
how can they reach you?
You can reach me at 832-206-6011 or email stonehomesteam@gmail.com.
Yeah, that's kind of like your name, Christy Stone.
Just a little.
That is too cool. 832-206-6011. And Chad, you said earlier that you have 42 agents. I was hoping you'd bring them all. It's great to see Christy and Jennifer. However, let's tell people how they can reach out to you, Chad.
My cell phone number is 832-766-3951. I'm available for call or text anytime. And you can always email me, cr@crrealtyco.com.
He is Chad Ray, the broker, at 832-766-3951. We're going to come right back. Thank you, Mr. Kelser, for your help on this segment. Stay with us, please. If you are a real estate professional, please listen closely. Cyber criminals are targeting our industry. They are impersonating real estate professionals, home buyers, sellers, and title agents, and their goal is to gain access to your inboxes, computers, and clients so they can steal information and funds. Does your business insurance offset these risks? Not sure? Contact Stewart Insurance to determine if your real estate business is properly insured. Connect with us at stewartinsurance.com or call 866-798-2827. And here we go. Chris Kelso, you heard him on the last segment. He is known, especially in this circle and many others, as the maestro of mortgage. He is with Hometown Lenders, the Kelso Group, having branches all over Houston, probably getting ready to go beyond that. I don't know. Chris Kelso, also with the Real Estate Rat Pack. If you're hearing this show at 10 o'clock Saturday, the Rat Pack has got your back, by the way. They are on from 9 to 10 on this station, 100.7 FM, the one and only Chris Kelso.
Thanks a lot, Bill. How you been this morning?
Doing great. It's great to have so many tremendous people here, as always. And there's something about, this is the same station, the same room that you do the Rat Pack along with Rob Cook. And there's something about this room. I think it might even be magic.
I think it is. Well, think about it. Let's look at when we started. You and I got to meet each other right here in the same room. Back whenever you came on board, The Price of Business.
That's right.
That was the very first one, and then you ended up being a sponsor of the show and got the radio bug, and then branched out, and the rest is history, as they say.
Magic, and it's also an incubator of some sort. I don't know where I'm coming up with this, Chris, but yes, this room has had many spin-offs of shows, and we've been in it. We've had the opportunity. As this is a show for us, 294, I know the Rat Pack is ahead of us in terms of numbers of shows.
Right.
Just think of all the people in this room, just as we all talked about real estate on our respective shows. It's amazing.
It is, and the great thing is also, and for all those who know us, Bill and I are great friends, first and foremost, independent of the radio show. But, I love the fact also is we talk with each other, we exchange information, we go back and forth with guests, we go back and forth with good ideas. You've hosted our show, vice versa. It's very much, I would say, encompasses what real estate is also in Houston, which is I have never seen a real estate community in Houston, both in lending and real estate and title, in which there's truly collaboration that takes place in this industry. Individuals are truly out to help other individuals get better in their respective careers. And I think, we are just a little part of what encompasses the overall real estate market.
When we look at the backdrop of time, the time that we've been doing this show, so 294, I'm not that good at math, but that's 5 years maybe, give or take. You guys, I think, were on a year prior to that. But look at that cross-section of time. The marketplace in Houston has never been bad during that time.
No, it really hasn't.
And every time we talk to them, it's better than last year. It's better than the last month. When does it stop, Chris? It's fun to do it while it's so exciting, but there's going to be dips in the road perhaps ahead. I don't know when.
Well, curiously enough, I was in Las Vegas this past weekend. I was at NAMB, which is the National Association for Mortgage Brokers and Bankers. And actually, Ted Jones was there. I put a picture on Facebook,
saw the picture.
And Ted was there. So Ted had a really good meeting that he was doing. He was talking about where real estate stands today. And one of the things he said, if I was to tell you that interest rates were going to be in an average rate of a 3.56 in 2019, he said, I would never have said that last year. And he said, and yet here we are right now. The average rates are in the threes. They're forecasting that there's still another 2 dips possibly to come. And that
interest rates.
In interest rates. And next year they're going to continue to stay either this way or possibly go a little bit lower, right? Now, there's a lot of factors associated with it. One of the things I think that Ted said, which I absolutely loved, was he said, listen, he said, I'm not a Democrat and I'm not a Republican. He said, I've voted both ways, et cetera, et cetera. He said, but I have never
At the
seen...
same time?
At the same time, probably. He said, but I've never seen a media-induced recession as much as what we're trying to see today. And he said, the one thing that I do see, he said, we have a very healthy economy. And if you look at some of the statistics, and you know Ted very well, he gets his data from a lot of other sources out there. And he talks about what's going on in regards to auto purchases, what's going on into hospitality, et cetera, et cetera. We are at a perfect time right now in the market in which the economy is strong, interest rates are low, housing inventory is very good, as Chad Ray and his team were talking about. And so there's not a forecast in the short term for a major dip in the market or recession. Do they think that it's going to stabilize out a little bit? Yes, absolutely. Are we going to have the 2014 or the 2015 acceleration that we had all of a sudden? No. But is it staying very stable? Absolutely it is. And appreciation also is moving up a little bit. So it's been pretty interesting to see sort of his numbers. And again, what he talked about, which I thought was great, was the media-induced recession is fake. The numbers don't support a recession at this time.
And Ted always says jobs. It's always about the jobs. And we have not had, I don't know the exact statistic, but we haven't had the unemployment rate this low in over 50 years, I'm told.
That is correct.
Jobs are there. And certainly you take that on a nationwide level, but when you look at Houston, we're very unique too. We really have a healthy economy, and it is phenomenal. By the way,
yes.
Dr. Ted C. Jones, for those of you that don't know, is our chief economist at Stewart Title for many years. In fact, he's an upcoming guest on this show, so we'll have the full hour with him coming up in December. So, in your world, money, you must be through the roof busy with refinancing and loans because they are at historic lows. Not only that, you're a tremendous business person, and you have a great team.
Well, we're very fortunate from that perspective, and we do have offices in San Antonio and Victoria, as well as 9 offices in Houston. So we're extremely busy, fortunately, but we can always take more business, so we never turn anything down. We've always been a purchase shop, so we've always focused in on individuals that are looking at purchasing property. Refinances, we take care of that for anybody who calls up the radio show and/or is our existing client base. We love that, and that's a little bit of what's going on. The one thing I tell everybody is it really hasn't had an impact on the purchase side. Individuals who are looking at purchasing a new home are going to do so independent of rates, right? What a rate actually does, though, and so this was a very interesting number. It was given by another economist at the same event this weekend. They took the numbers and said, okay, if you were to take the average rate in 2018 and apply it to the average rate that we've got right now in 2019 on a $200,000 home, okay, the average savings they would have right now if they were buying a home is $115. So $115 difference between last year the same purchase and this year the same purchase because of interest rates. So one of the things that we're talking about is affordability in home purchases right now is at an all-time low. Because $115 is a big monthly difference if you're looking at buying a $200,000 home. And I'm sure Chad and everybody here would agree to that. And so one of the things we're starting to see is the millennials, right? So they talked a little bit about this. So the millennial population represents about 16.4% of our Houston population. Yet last year they represented 34% of our purchase transactions, and this year forecasted to be about 40% of our purchase transactions. But our largest homeowner segment is actually the baby boomers. They own more homes than any segment in our history right now. So it's interesting to sort of see that combination of what's going on. Your average first-time home buyer is actually 31 years old. So one of the things that they are looking for, we talk about affordability, we're talking about all the things associated with affordability. Number one, Katie, with Chad, very affordable. Number two, though, interest rates are causing affordability. Number three is, we talk with home builders, also homes are being built more affordable nowadays. Technically speaking, it's costing more to buy a home. You can't go out and buy a $115,000 new home. But in relative terms of things, you can actually still go out there and buy relatively well-priced homes that have a lot of very good features to them. And you combine the rates that we've got today, it's almost a no-brainer not to be a homeowner in today's market.
Once again, the backdrop of these economic times in this city and this area, as we talked to Chad about the activity pushing west from I-10, Fulshire, and beyond, it's going that way in every direction. I mean, Conroe,
it is.
It is wild.
Well, and you look at any part of Houston, we're very fortunate. You look at what's going on the west side of Houston. You look at Katy, Richmond, Sugar Land. You push all that out to the west, and it's all that growth, as you mentioned, to all the areas. But you go up north. You look at where Conroe is. You look at north of the Woodlands. You look over in Kingwood and what's going on over on the Kingwood side, and that's actually the northeast side of town, and all the development going over there, Balmoral and some of the other subdivisions that are going in. You look at what's going on over at Generation Park and Far East Side, go all the way out to Baytown. It's amazing the development and the affordability and the availability of properties all over the place. You even go down south nowadays, and you got some great developments down in the Clear Lake, League City area. So Houston, we're very fortunate. We've got land. We're not building up, we're building out. And so that's one of the big things. And the other thing that's sort of going on, you look at Edo, you look at some of the areas that are getting redeveloped right now.
Uptown.
It's a very neat uptown. You look at some of the areas of the Heights. Look where the Heights is right now. I wish I could have bought in the Heights 10 years ago because I'd be laughing to the bank right now. Right, we all say the same thing.
Exactly.
But you look at all those changes that are going on. The great thing about Houston, no matter where you're looking at buying, get with your real estate agent, get with one of these guys here in this room today. They can show you where the great deals are, and there's still a lot of great opportunities to buy homes out there.
There's no question. The other thing is that, as you mentioned, all your offices, you have the ability to move around as you go to office throughout the week. You never miss an event. You're everywhere. But you get an idea of what's going on in each and every area. That's why you're the maestro of mortgage. In addition, let's tell people before we close the segment out, Chris, the Rat Pack. You guys are doing tremendous work helping people every day. The Rat Pack's got your back. That's what I say when people ask, even when they don't ask. But let's tell people what you're doing on the show, upcoming and the future of the Real Estate Rat Pack. They can go to realestateratpack.com.
That is correct.
And hear you at 9 o'clock every Saturday on 100.7 FM.
That is correct. It's a live show every Saturday. We tell everybody the best part about the show is actually the breakfast after the show. And we always joke about that because, we bring everybody back and have breakfast and a good time. But more importantly is the Rat Pack was started for one big reason. It is to give a voice to the real estate community. Same reason why you're here, is to give a voice to the real estate community to get information out there. So we're not just about real estate, about buying and selling. If you're looking at giving back to the community, if you've got a non-for-profit you're representing, if you're running for office, for example, anything, our belief is real estate touches everything, business, people, property, etc. So if you have something to say and want to say something, get on the show. We would love to promote you. We would love to have a conversation. We would love to continue to build better community. As we talk about all the time, is it's all about building up our market and our people.
We can't close the segment without referencing your sidekick, Rob Cook. He's known as the godfather of real estate, tremendous individual. Let's tell people a little bit about what Rob's up to. He's doing incredible work all the time. You guys make a tremendous team, kind of like Johnny and Ed McMahon. I mean, if you people remember The Tonight Show, I am not a millennial, by the way. Yes. But let's tell people, Rob...
Rob's awesome.
He's getting a little older too, by the way.
Right, I make a lot of old jokes with Rob, and he takes them very well, which is very good. But I only do it because he makes a lot of jokes with me about being younger, so it's a good offset right there. But one of the things that Rob does, Rob is infatuated with making sure that our real estate community is better educated in regards to
in fact,
policies,
he would have been
procedures.
here today, but he's teaching.
He's teaching right now. That is correct.
Right.
So one of the things that Rob is very, very good at is understanding where we stand, educating other real estate agents, and teaching CE classes, so we have a better and more qualified real estate community that understands what they're doing, and more importantly, is promoting advanced education. So that's what he does.
And if people want to reach out to you for that mortgage, what should they do?
Call me anytime, 713-256-9138. I'll say it twice, 713-256-9138. Or they can go to our website, htownlenders.com. So htownlenders.com. Look me up. My name is Chris Kelso. Online also is Christopher Kelso. Or follow me on Facebook, either which one.
They may see you on the highway in your vehicle that is wrapped with Hometown Lenders, the Kelso Group.
Correct. We got two of them. We have
they
our
can wave
red and our
then
blue.
you'll pull over and give them a cup of coffee, right?
Actually, if they take a picture and put us on Facebook and tag me, they get a $5 Starbucks card sent to the mail.
There you go. There he is, Chris Kelso, and we say hi to Rob. He's busy teaching now, but we're coming right back with even more. Stay with us. Thank you, Chris. And here we go. And now we have two tremendous associates from Stewart Title. First of all, in the Katy area, as we've talked about Katy, Stacy Fontenot. She is with Stewart Title right there in Katy, Texas at Torchlight Terrace Lane. Sounds great. I know people want to go there already, Stacy, just to close that real estate transaction, right?
Absolutely. We can't wait to see everyone there.
Well, let's tell people, Katy, Texas, we talked about the growth there. You've been at Stewart Title there doing tremendous work as an escrow officer at Katy. What's good? How's the market? What's your feel there, say, for the past year? What's been going on?
The market in Katy is doing really well. We see ebb and flow in the market. We have times of the year that typically generally are busier, especially the summer months. People are looking to move and relocate during those summer months before their children need to begin school again in August. So we will normally see an uptick in the market towards the end of March. That will carry through to September. We've got a bit of a lull in the winter months. I don't really foresee that happening at this point. We've got our fingers crossed. We're hoping the market stays just as strong as it is, but the market has been a little different this year. We were busier in April, had a little bit of a slowdown in May, and then it's been full throttle since then.
And just a side note, I always like to buy and sell real estate around the wintertime in January and February. I don't know why. It's cooler, but there's a lot of other things that come into play. So my favorite time to shop and to purchase is the end of the year, and it's also fun to close real estate transactions at Stewart Title at that time as well.
Absolutely. It's always a good time to close transactions at Stewart Title.
I was going to say that if you didn't, you are exactly right. Let's tell people, as far as an escrow officer, sometimes what you do, and I will put it like this, you make the complex simple, because all the components of the real estate transaction, I mean, the paperwork, the mortgage, all these things going back and forth, it all comes together at the closing, which is a phenomenal piece of Americana when it all happens together. And you get to be there, right there, when it comes together, when everybody is happy, they're getting the keys, the checks, and all that. What is the thing that gets you excited about doing what you do year after year for over 20 years?
I will say this, and this is very tongue-in-cheek, but you hear the saying, not my circus, not my monkey. In every real estate transaction, they're all my monkeys, and it is my circus. So by the time they arrive at the closing table, we want to wrap it up in a bow and finish it up for them. We want everyone to have a positive experience. We want sellers to walk out with keys and begin new beginnings in their home, and we want our sellers to go on to whatever that next experience might be.
Because it does mark and begin another chapter in everybody's life.
Absolutely.
That is at that closing table.
Absolutely, it does.
And that makes it fun for you as well to bring it together. So let's tell people how long you've been an escrow officer.
I've been an escrow officer for 21 years.
You kind of have some experience, huh? You've seen probably, and with each and every transaction, correct me if I'm wrong, each one is a little different.
Absolutely. They're all the same, and yet they're all different.
So some are a little more challenging than others. So the beauty when someone closes with you, Stacy Fontenot and Katie Texas at Stewart Title, they have they have your experience. You're right there to help them, no matter what's going to happen.
Absolutely.
That's incredible.
Absolutely.
And Rochelle Sula, our business development officer right there in Katy, brought you here on the show, and we're so glad she did.
She did. She's
On
an
certain days, maybe.
excellent business development officer for our office.
She is on the A-plus team. There's no question about that.
Agreed.
Let's tell people about some of the other people in your office that, as far as closers go.
We have 4 escrow officers within our office. Myself, Gabby Hussey. She is our escrow officer who is bilingual. She speaks Spanish. Kathy Straw and Mandy Taylor also close within our office.
That sounds great. And before we close out this little segment, what else would you like people to know about what you're doing? Katy, Texas, Stewart Title?
Stewart Title is an excellent office to work for. I can't speak highly enough. My career began in Louisiana with a last name like Fontenot. I'm not a native Texan. Exactly. Yeah. And the industry is structured differently there. So when I relocated here with my family, I found myself searching for a title company, for an office that could become home. Because in my prior experience, when I worked in Louisiana, I was with the same law firm as an EO for 13 years. So the industry is structured differently here. Every different company has a brand and they have an office. The thing that I love about Stewart is the history. It's very much a family environment. Employees who are here are very tenured. They're not looking to go elsewhere because of the methodology behind the brand. I value that. They've been here a long time and they're not going anywhere.
There's no question about it. We are the brand that people want to be associated with, including me. I'm with the company now 6 years. Can you believe it? I'm very excited about that. And for those that don't know, you may have heard this on the show before, but Stewart Title, we are over 126 years old. We don't look a day over 90. By the way, we started in Galveston, Texas, and now an international company traded on the New York Stock Exchange. STC. That's right, Stewart Title. So thank you so much. If people want to close with you, what should they do?
You can always phone me. 281-392-8844. My cell number is the best way, 337-298-5704.
One more time on the number.
337-298-5704. Or email Stacy, stacy.fontenot@stewart.com.
Or simply Google Stewart Title.
Or simply Google.
Katy, Texas. You'll see Stacy and the team there to help you. Speaking of business development officers, we have Christina Sacco right here. Christina, let's tell people about your office that you represent.
Well, thanks, Bill. I'm glad to be back. It's always good to be here. I'm happy to share a little bit about Fine Properties. We have expanded from Post Oak Boulevard from our corporate office to the Kirby Grove location, which is located at 2925 Richmond, overlooking the beautiful Levy Park, and it's super convenient for for your clients to join us for your closing, or we can always make arrangements to close on Post Oak Boulevard. That way, if your listing's in the Galleria, the Tanglewood area Memorial, you still have that easy location to close at, which is fantastic. And I have 5 tremendous escrow officers that I work with that have years of experience. And I was just thinking about them. They each have over 20 plus years within escrow, but they've been with Stewart for most of their careers. And they have been around and they're seasoned and they know how to work with boutique builders, commercial, and buyers and sellers of all price ranges.
You are exactly right. If we were to line up our A++ team of escrow officers, they have incredible credentials, nice people to work with, but they know what they're doing, and like you said, have the tenure at Stewart Title. One of the and as people are out there listening, you may not be in the inner loop, you may not be in Katy, but wherever you are, you simply Google Stewart Title. But I would strongly recommend, especially Christina, like you are a business development officer, and one of the things that you do is you are a resource for real estate professionals out there, mortgage, realtors, and everything, because you have events going on all the time, educational things. Do you have anything coming up that we should know about?
Well, actually, this past week, we have hosted FIRPTA, which is how to work with your foreign sellers. And it's such a hot topic, and I didn't realize what a hot topic it is until I had a wait list. I've had over 30 people wanting to come to this class. We have maxed it out, and it was a great success. So Shannon Schooner and Brittany Aponic, who are in corporate development, they teach a series of CE legal classes, and we're so fortunate to have them that I'm actually begging them for more dates to go to different brokers' offices because there's such a demand on FIRPTA and a great legal CE classes. We also have one coming up in October, Staging a Sale with Shelley Barndollar of Show Homes Houston, and I'm actually going to be co-hosting that with Bobby Magnus in our Heights office. So we are looking to host that at a location up in the Heights area. So we're always trying to be creative, take it on location when we can to maximize our value. But we also like to keep it in the office so everyone gets to visit with the escrow team and get to know them a little bit more.
Doing incredible work 24/7, Christina. I
Thank
don't know
you.
how you and the team do it in such a way. If someone wants to reach out to you to learn more, what should they do?
713-325-1748 is my cell phone number, and the best way to reach me. Lately, it seems like I'm never in the office because between meetings and different events, I'm out there. So that cell phone's the best way, 713-325-1748. And of course, you can always reach me via email too, which is Christina with a CHR. So it's christina.sacco@stewart.com.
713-325-1748. Sounding dramatic right now. Thank you, Christina, for being on the show. And
Thanks,
it's super
Bill.
fun. Google Stewart Title wherever you are. Find out who your business development officer is if you don't know. And as we wind things down right here on the show, I want to tell you a couple things coming up. Christina mentioned Dr. Ted C. Jones. His schedule is developing, and it's going to make sure, again, be close to your Stewart Title Business Development Officer. Find out when Ted is appearing at a venue near you. That's Dr. Ted C. Jones, Chief Economist of Stewart Title and the eighth wonder of the real estate world. So check with your Stewart Title BDO. In addition, Dr. Jones will be on our show in December. In addition, coming up, we mentioned Uptown Houston with Chris. We have the Uptown Houston District Group on the show coming up in a few weeks. We have Christina's going to be putting together a show for the Heights in a few weeks. Paul McHugh Homes. Paul, welcome back.
Thank you.
Well, there's so much going on. That's just a little bit about what's going on in our world, but Houston, stuff's going on all the time, Paul.
Yeah, I think I always think the one unique thing about Houston is most cities are doing one thing. They're building up, they're building out, but we do almost all. We build up now. There's a lot more condos going up than ever before. We build out. We'll be building forever out, and we're redeveloping. And
It's
that's
incredible.
the one thing that's unique about Houston that most cities don't have.
But let's tell people before we close out the show what else you want them to know about your home, your homes, McHugh Homes.
Our type of building is unique in the sense that we are very detailed. Generally, you'll deal with me throughout the process. There's not a lot of spin-off to other people. That way, you get full attention from beginning to end.
There you go. And how can people reach you, Paul, on your website?
You reach me at 713-319-7164 or McHugh Homes, MCHUGHhomes.com.
Well, thank you for being on the show, Paul. And now they are back. CR Realty. We have Chad, Jennifer, Christy. It's like I'd say dynamic duo, but a dynamic trio right here. What do you think about that, Christy?
Hey, I'm loving it.
Right there in the real estate world at CR Realty. Chad, what else should we know before we close out this segment?
Anybody looking in the Katy, Sugarland, Fulshire, anything on the west side we really specialize in, give us a shout. Check out our website. It's cr@crrealtyco.com.
As in Chad Ray, right?
Yes, sir.
So let's tell people, as we think about going out west again, let's take Fulshire. What's the next stop going west that's a hot market?
From what I understand, they're going to build a Fulshire Parkway that's going to run from Fulshire to I-10 to help those people get out, so to say, of that area. There's only so many ways in and out of Fulshire right now.
Incredible.
I know it's going to take a couple years to get done, but once these roads continue to be built, I just think the development's going to continue to go that direction. All the way out towards Sealy is where I'm seeing it over the next few years.
And
Condos.
Jennifer, what else should we know from you? What would you like to tell us?
One of the things that I failed to mention earlier is I'm one of two of Chad's bilingual real estate agents. So if anybody needs help with primarily Spanish-speaking clients, I can definitely help them there.
No sweat, huh?
Not at all.
Did you know I can be silent in 7 languages? And no one seems to ever care about it. You know, Chris mentioned, Jennifer, the boardwalk in Katy. Where is that, by the way? Does anybody know?
It's
The Katy
expanding.
Mills Mall.
Yeah,
Right.
the Katy
How
Mills
about that?
Mall. It's expanding quickly. A lot is going on daily, and it backs up all the way to Saddlehorn.
I'm not
Super
sure
fun.
when the completion date is. I know the project started going quickly, and then it slowed down a little bit, and now it's taken back off again. I'm really not sure, but there's a huge hotel that's going to anchor the whole area, and it should be really nice when it's completed.
Right.
And Jennifer, let's tell people how they can reach out to you as well.
So you can reach me at 832-368-3387. And you can also email me at jc@crrealtyco.com.
832-368-3387. Mr. Kelso, if someone wants that loan, new home, wherever they are, almost in Texas, Chris, what should they do?
You can reach me at any time, 713-256-9138, or go to htownlenders.com. And like Jennifer, soy de Mexico, so you can get bilingual with us as well. So it's not a problem there.
They can do that. And also, you have a Halloween party coming up. Should we
We
tell people
do.
about
It's
that?
October-
That is a monumental event.
October 24th in our Katy office. It is the premier Halloween event. Everyone comes dressed up with their best costume, and we give away $500 prizes for top female, top male, most original, scariest, and I forgot what the other one was, but we give away a lot of money that night, so it's a lot of fun.
I've been in there 2-3 years in a row, and each time I learn something more. I have more fun each time.
Well, you're always invited. You know that, Bill. And
I'll be there.
anybody else you want to invite, make it happen.
And Stacy Fontenot, before we leave, people are thinking about Katy, Texas, Stuart Title. They want to close at your office. What should they do, Stacy Fontenot?
Reach out to me by phone, 337-298-5704, or email Stacy, S-T-A-C-Y, .fontenot@stewart.com.
And that's with over 20 years of experience. How do you do it, Stacy? Incredible.
When it's fun, it isn't work. You just get up and you do it.
That's right.
So there
Give
you
her
go.
a call. 337-298-5704. Google Stuart Title, Katy, Texas. And Christina Sacco, one last word before we close this thing out.
Thanks, Bill. Really excited to bring all the great programs to y'all regarding classes and even great radio show guests. Like Bill said, next week we'll have the Nancy Owens Foundation featured, and we're really excited about partnering with them and supporting them for such a great cause.
And thank you so much. Do not be sad that the show is ending at the time of broadcast because, Christy, it never really ends, does it?
Never does.
That's right. It's in the cloud. You can go to stewart.com/Houston. That's right, stewart.com/Houston. You can hear any and all the shows except show number 1 because we can't find it. Check us out next week, Real Estate Matters with Stuart Title. Thank you all for being on the show. And until next week, thank you, Stacy and Rochelle. We'll see Rochelle next time, we hope. Real Estate Matters with Stuart Title. We'll see you next week. Thank you.